every child with a smile that wins. Colorful and playful, every toy's a dream. In the world of Toymany, happiness is the theme. Toymany, Toymany, the wonder we adore. Adventure, fun and laughter, you'll always find much more. Building memories, one toy at a time. Toymany, Toymany, a wonder so sublime. Oh, oh.
Hey collectors and animal lovers! Welcome back to the wildest corner of YouTube. Today we're diving into the newest Toymany release, the Madagascar Animal Set. Let's explore the land of lemurs, chameleons, and some of the most unique wildlife on Earth. Let's check out this brand new release from Toymany, the Madagascar Animal Set. Straight from the island of endemics, this box is loaded with some of the rarest and wildest creatures you'll ever see in figure form. Inside, we've got 12 individually wrapped figurines, each one representing a unique animal that lives only in Madagascar. From lemurs to leaf-tailed geckos, tenrecs to chameleons. This is like opening a treasure chest of biodiversity. So let's start unwrapping these one by one, and I'll tell you a bit about each amazing animal before we dive into the figure details. First up in our Madagascar adventure is none other than the ring-tailed lemur, the superstar of the lemur world. That bold, bushy tail with its black and white rings isn't just for show, and it helps lemurs stay visible in dense forest and acts like a flag when they move as a group. Unlike many of their primate cousins, ring-tailed lemurs spend a lot of time on the ground. They're social, sun-loving, and love to sit in a meditative pose to warm up in the morning. Now let's take a close look at the figure. This figure stands at 76 by 44 by 80 millimeters and weighs just 22 grams. And despite the small size, it packs in a ton of character. The upright pose is fantastic. It almost looks like it's in mid-stride or pausing to scan the forest. The striped tail is especially well done, curved, textured, and slightly lifted, just like you'd see in the wild. I also love the reddish-orange eye paint. It gives it that sharp, alert lemur stare. The first sculpt along the back and arms has a nice rough texture, and the subtle shading down the legs adds a bit of realism. Overall, it captures the lemur's quirky stance and bold attitude beautifully. Now this little one is a real-world record holder. The Madame Bert's mouse lemur is officially the smallest primate on Earth. It's native to the dry forests of western Madagascar and measures just around 9 centimeters in the wild. Despite their size, they're nocturnal pros. Those oversized eyes help them navigate the dark, and they rely heavily on scent to explore their world. Discovered only in the 1990s, this species is not just tiny, but also endangered. With a shrinking habitat and very limited range, Toymany's version of this miniature marvel is beautifully done for such a small sculpt. It's just 85 millimeters long and under 15 grams, but full of detail. The pose is low and cautious, just like a real mouse lemur moving along a branch or forest floor. I really love the sculpted fur texture. It looks dense and soft, with gentle ridges across the back and limbs. The big round eyes are the star of the show here. They capture that nocturnal cuteness perfectly. And check out the long curled tail, slightly raised and nicely textured. For a figure this size, Toymany packed in an impressive amount of character. Definitely one of the standouts for tiny animal fans. This next one is a real jewel of Madagascar, the Radiated tortoise. With that high dome shell marked by starburst-like patterns, it's considered one of the most beautiful tortoises in the world. Native to the dry, spiny forests of southern Madagascar, these tortoises are slow-moving herbivores that can live over 100 years. Unfortunately, their beauty has made them a target in the illegal pet trade, and they're now critically endangered in the wild. And this figure feels like a solid chunk. It's 49.3 grams, compact at 65 by 51 by 32 millimeters, but rich in detail. The star pattern shell is eye-catching with that deep black base and bright yellow-orange lines. Toymany really nailed the contrast. The sculpted texture on the shell adds realism, and the subtle folds on the skin, especially around the legs and neck, are a nice touch. I also love the stance. It looks like it's mid-stride, with one leg slightly forward, which brings life to what could have been a very static pose. A strong figure in the set, and definitely one that draws attention. Next in our journey through Madagascar, the bamboo lemur, a rare specialist with a very particular diet. These lemurs get their name from their love of bamboo, including species that contain toxic amounts of cyanide, yet they've evolved to tolerate it. They live in dense rainforest and spend much of their time among the bamboo stalks, climbing and chewing their way through the foliage. There are a few species of bamboo lemurs, but all of them are unique to Madagascar and face threats from habitat destruction. This figure weighs in at just 17.2 grams and measures 70 by 29 by 52 millimeters, but it really stands out with personality. I love the upright posture, holding a bright green bamboo stalk, which instantly tells you what this animal is all about. The fur sculpt is coarse and detailed, especially around the back and arms, and the paintwork transitions nicely from the dusky gray to the warm brown on the lower body. The facial expression is calm and focused, like it's mid-snack, and the red eye paint gives a nice pop of color. Also, the tail is thick and rounded, curling naturally behind, subtle but well done. This one's definitely a gentle little character in the lineup, and a great pick for any rainforest-themed diorama. Now this is one of the most bizarre creatures in Madagascar. Meet the lowland streaked tenrec. It looks like a cross between a hedgehog and a shrew, but it's actually part of a family found only in Madagascar. This tiny insectivore sports a striking black and yellow coat covered in sharp quills. And here's the wild part. It can make sound by rubbing its quills together, kind of like a spiny violin. It uses this stridulation to communicate, which is incredibly rare for mammals. And this figure is compact at 61 millimeters long, just 12.8 grams, but it's packed with attitude. The sculpt absolutely nails that spiky, bristly texture, especially along the back and flanks, and the quill crown on the head. That bright yellow streak pops beautifully and adds a lot of energy to the pose. The long snout is perfectly exaggerated, giving it that forager in action vibe, and the paint blend from deep black to golden yellow is sharp and clean, from the wide splayed toes to the curious forward stance. It looks like it's just spotted its next earthworm snack. It's one of the most unique sculpts in the set. Strange, spiky, and super cool. And next, here comes a rainforest acrobat, the black and white ruffed lemur, one of the loudest primates in the world. Native to Madagascar's eastern rainforests, these lemurs are famous for their booming calls, thick fur, and love of fruit. They're also among the few lemurs that build nests for their young, a rare trait in primates. With bold black and white coloring and a fluffy ruff around the neck, they're just as dramatic in looks as they are in sound. And our figurine here is 76 millimeters long, 65 millimeters tall, and weighs 31.8 grams, and it's packed with attitude. Toymany sculpted it mid-stride, head turned with an open mouth as if it's just about to call out through the trees. The signature curled tail is a great touch, arched high and deeply textured to match the figure's thick fur. Paintwork is clean and bold with sharp transitions between the black and cream white tones, just like the real lemur's dramatic coat. You can even see hints of fluff sculpting around the neck area, giving that characteristic ruffed look. A vibrant, lively addition to the set, this one definitely brings the forest to life. And next, exactly from the frog's family. This fiery little blob is the tomato frog, a species native to Madagascar's rainforests and swamps. It gets its name from its bright red tomato-like color, a warning to predators that it's not a snack. When threatened, this frog can puff up like a balloon and even secrete a sticky toxin from its skin to deter attackers. It's a master of defense in a deceptively squishy package. This figure may be tiny at just 38 millimeters long and 17.2 grams, but it's bold and attention-grabbing. The bright reddish-orange tone is spot on, not too glossy with subtle gradients that mimic the natural skin. The body is rounded and slightly flattened, giving it that signature squat frog look. The bumpy skin texture is well sculpted, especially along the back and thighs, and the underside has that softer pinkish belly tone that adds realism. The stance is perfect, tucked in, ready to spring or inflate. This one's definitely the color bomb of the set, small but impossible to ignore. This next lemur is a real performer. It's the Sifaka, known for its funky sideways hopping dance. Unlike most lemurs that stay in the trees, Sifakas are just as graceful on the ground. When they leap across the forest floor, they move with arms raised like ballerinas in midair. They live in dry forests of southern Madagascar and feed mostly on leaves and fruits. Their white fur and dark face give them a striking appearance, but it's their movement that really steals the show. And our figure stands out instantly, posed in mid-hop, arms lifted and one leg bent, just like their signature dance. It's about 90 millimeters tall and 36 grams, mounted on a textured reddish base that mimics the dry forest floor. The fur detailing is especially nice here. Long, shaggy texture across the torso and limbs with varied paint tones from off-white to soft browns. The face is well sculpted too, with a flat snout and dark eyes that match the real Sifaka's ghostly gaze. What I really love is the energy in the pose. You can practically hear the bounce. It's not just a great likeness. It's full of character. Definitely one of the most expressive lemurs in the whole set. Next up, one of the most bizarre and perfectly camouflaged reptiles on Earth, the Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. This little lizard is native to the rainforests of Madagascar and is nearly impossible to spot in the wild. Its tail mimics a dead leaf, complete with notches and veins, while its skin texture and color help it vanish into bark and moss. Despite the spooky name, it's harmless, and its looks are all about staying hidden from predators. And this figure may be light at 10.9 grams and just 83 millimeters long, but the sculpt is absolutely eye-catching. The tail is the real standout, wide, jagged, and beautifully detailed with brown mottling to match a decaying leaf. The body has a subtle texture that mimics the bumpy bark-like skin, with yellow-brown tones and tiny spotting that bring it to life. Its splayed toes are sculpted with care, and the way it hugs the ground gives it a lifelike, stealthy presence. And those eyes, bright, angled, and full of attitude, really sell the look of a gecko that's both eerie and elegant. Definitely one of the most visually unique pieces in the Madagascar set. Get ready now for one of nature's tiniest marvels. This is the Brookesia micra, one of the smallest chameleons and reptiles in the world. Discovered in 2012 on a tiny island off Madagascar, adult Brookesia micra can fit on the tip of a matchstick. They're not flashy color changes like other chameleons, but they're incredible examples of miniaturization and microendemism, found only in very specific leaf litter habitats. Despite their size, they have all the charm and swagger of their bigger cousins. This figure is super light at just 6.6 grams and measures 82 millimeters long, but the sculpt is strong and detailed for its size. The body has a realistic, bumpy texture that mimics the rough, bark-like skin of the real animal. The subtle paintwork is excellent, earthy brown tones with tiny spotted accents and a pale yellowish tail that fades gradually. The limbs are well formed, with all 4 feet gripping the ground in a low, grounded pose. Very accurate. For how Brucasia moves in leaf litter, the head has a slightly oversized, alert look, which gives this tiny lizard a bit of personality. A humble but important entry in the set, representing Madagascar's incredible range of species, from the big to the barely visible. And now, meet Madagascar's apex predator, the Fossa. Although it looks like a small cougar or a weasel, it's actually more closely related to mongooses. Agile, muscular, and a skilled climber, the Fossa can chase lemurs through the trees and leap from branch to branch with ease. It's solitary, elusive, and one of the top hunters on the island, yet it's still threatened by deforestation and habitat loss. And this figurine is one of the longest in the set at 134 millimeters, weighing 24.5 grams, and you can feel that prowling energy in the sculpt. The lean body is stretched into a stalking pose, with the tail gently curling behind, a perfect nod to its balance and arboreal lifestyle. The fur is subtly textured, and the brown tones are well blended. Not too flat, with some shading around the belly and limbs. The face sculpt is alert and intense, with sharp ears and amber eyes that give it a serious, predatory look. It's a strong, no-frills piece, not flashy, but accurate and full of presence. Definitely the stealthy star of the collection. And last but absolutely not least is the Parsons chameleon, one of the largest chameleons in the world. Endemic to Madagascar, it can reach over 60 centimeters in length and sports vibrant greens, blues, and yellows depending on the individual and mood. Like all chameleons, it has independently rotating eyes, a fused mitten-like grip, and that famous lightning-fast projectile tongue, which can shoot out at insects with pinpoint accuracy. It's a slow mover with serious style. This figure is striking from the start and measuring 109 millimeters long and weighing about 25.9 grams. It's posed in a perfect action moment. The tongue is extended mid-strike, adding instant drama to the sculpt. It's thick, coiled, and painted with rich reds and pinks to stand out. The body shows excellent chameleon texture, bumpy skin, ridged along the spine, and a slight lateral compression that's true to the species. The greens and subtle blues fade nicely across the flanks, with touches of yellow on the limbs and underbelly. The tail is curled at the tip and well-balanced, giving a grounded, sturdy pose. And the eyes? Slightly bulged and alert, just as they should be. It's an exciting closer to the set, colorful, dynamic, and unmistakably Madagascar. And there you have it. 12 incredible creatures, all native to one of the most unique ecosystems on Earth, Madagascar. From the tiny Brucasia micra to the fierce Fossa, every figure in this set tells a story of survival and adaptation. I love how Toymany brought out each animal's personality. From the goofy tomato frog to the elegant Verreaux's Sifaka mid-dance. The textures, poses, and paintwork really make this a standout collection. Not just for kids or collectors, but for anyone who loves wildlife and learning through play. Alright, my friends, which one do you think Toymany nailed the most? And which animal surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear which one's your favorite and why. And if you enjoyed this wild ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next unboxing. We've got plenty more creatures on the way. Until next time, keep exploring, keep collecting, and stay wildly curious.